Let me ask you something. When was the last time you made a decision directly from your heart, not your fear? On tonight's broadcast, we answer and explore one question. What does it actually look like to live from the heart? One but about 11 days ago, I come across this video online. I want to play it for you because it got me asking this question. It got me asking about what life actually looks like when we decide to live from the heart rather than the intellect. Oh, sure, we can use the intellect in order to meet our goals, but if we live by the heart instead of the intellect, what does that actually look like? The first clip that I want to show tonight is going to set up our conversation. It comes from the popular influencer Alex Ramosi, who's got millions of subscribers online. He sits down with Tony Robbins, which is a long time 30-year, 40-year self-help guru, beloved all over the world. But they have this conversation about the heart. I think you'll find it interesting. After that, we'll begin to open up our discussion. So without further ado, if you're ready to live free beyond fear, welcome here. I'm Dr. Shawn, and I believe you do not need years to heal. You just need one real breakthrough. That's why I invented Transcendent Psychology, and I test it in the real world, on real people, on my game show, Countdown to Breakthrough, the only game show that heals your soul. Right now, you're on the Breakthrough Live, where we break down the science of healing so that you get your own breakthrough live. On tonight's show, I want to show you and open up this clip first. Let's get to it so that you can see exactly what I mean when I'm talking about this heart situation. Just to set up the clip, Alex Ramosi is doing like $250 million a year in his portfolio companies. He's 36 years old. He's a popular business entrepreneur, information specialist. And he sits down with Tony Robbins after having all of the success and basically says that it all kind of feels empty. I want you to check this out. Here we go.
But two of the other guys always were talking about their wives, like I had to go back to the old ball and chain, you know? And one day, and I couldn't help see it, it was like I was a witness of it because I was always sensitive to this. And the guy that really loves his wife, out of habit of being around other guys, yeah, I'm going on my own ball and chain, right? And the language we use produces emotion. And sometimes we can pick up words and actually pick up emotions.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's just like, you know, if somebody yawns, you yawn too, or somebody starts to laugh, you do it, but words are even more powerful. So duty could be a good word, like if you're seeing yourself like a soldier, right? But I don't look at it that way. I look at it as
obligation.
No, I don't look at obligation as the same thing. Okay. No, it's okay, but I say this because I saw this in some of your language, and I don't know if this is helpful to you. I don't pretend to coach you in any way, but For me at least, I can tell you, I look at it as opportunity. I don't feel a sense of duty. I feel a sense of joy in being able to contribute. To me, contribution is what we're made for. Like, it's not hard to meet your own needs as a human being, right? It's not that difficult today in the world we're in today. But to have a fulfilling life, you have to have something you care about more than yourself. And so if you get into business just to make money, and there's nothing wrong with that, those people usually, you know, even if they succeed, they hit a limit of fulfillment because the economic returns only produce so much. So I don't look at duty and enjoyment. I look at it as more like it's all enjoyment, because contribution is the ultimate enjoyment for me. I mean, I get into business for impact, and the economics are second. If I have enough impact, you'll never have to worry about economics in your life. And I found that to be true in my own life. So I don't look at it quite that way. I look at it also, though, that if you think you're going to really enjoy your life and not do anything, I think you're deluded, because you'll wake up one day, because the only thing that makes us feel alive is growth. You know, when you grow, then you have something to give. And when you give, then your life is more meaningful than just, you know, pleasure. You can give yourself pleasure by, you know, money, food, alcohol, sex, whatever it is, you know, but it's never going to be the same as when you have something that's larger than you that you're called to. It's like, I hate the word motivation because I've never been a motivator, but people use the word. So I'll say, well, there's two types of motivation if you don't think of it that way. There's push motivation, which is, let's say, duty, or I've got to do this, or I have to do, or obligation, right? Or just, I'm going to make this happen. And look, brother, you have a huge amount of willpower. It's pretty obvious by what you've accomplished. I have tremendous respect for you. And I do too. But willpower only goes so far. That's push. Pull motivation is where there's something out there that you want to serve more than yourself, that'll get you up early, keep you up late. And it isn't hard. It isn't duty. It is like what I'm made for. When you tap into that, your energy level will explode, your contribution will explode. It doesn't mean overnight everything is going to work your way. Of course it doesn't work that way. But it'll give you the constant endurance to move forward.
Okay. So someone just told me that the head was kind of chopped off of that. No problem. The situation is this. Alex and Tony are having this conversation. Alex Hermosi is the dude in the hat. He basically says, I want to, you know, I've got all the success, but it feels like I've got this apathy issue. Like I don't necessarily feel like it's energizing. Here goes Tony, basically looking at him and saying, if you are pursuing your business from a push decision, which is to say you're getting up every morning and doing the thing because it is duty bound, because it feels like it's what you must do, what you should do. You're smart, you're good at it. So you just go and you every single day you grind on whatever goal set you set for yourself until you hit the goal. But the problem is that when we're raised in a culture that basically tells us that our life is meaningless if we don't have financial resources, or if we're not popular, or if people don't have some sort of affinity toward us. One of the issues that happens is that we're constantly pushing, trying to get to that golden goodie, only to get to the golden goodie and realize that it ain't that good. Not in the sense that there's anything wrong with the finances, or anything wrong with portfolio companies, or anything wrong with businesses in general. Only that if it's willpower, that's the push, that's the intellect, that's the capacity for just continuing regardless of circumstances, regardless of setbacks, regardless of how I feel, regardless of if it's right or wrong, just continuing. That's willpower. And there's a power to that. That's great. But tonight's question is really about, what does it actually look like to take a different route? What's it actually look like to take a different path? What does it actually look like to live from the heart? And the heart is that pull factor. I just want to make sure I'm defining terms. The heart is that pull. You heard Tony say, when you're living from that pull situation, You get energized. When you're living from that pool situation, from that heart situation, you're serving something that's bigger than yourself. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like contribution. It feels like you're doing exactly what you are made for. Hmm. Okay. Okay, let me play that one part one time, one more again, just because I know that his head got cut off when he was talking. Hold on, let me hit that one time, just so you can hear this again.
Alcohol,
Yeah.
sex, whatever it is, but it's never going to be the same as when you have something that's larger than you that you're called to. It's so like,
Yeah.
I hate the word motivation because I've never
Yeah.
been a motivator, but people
Yeah.
use the word. So I'll say, well, there's two types of motivation if you don't think of it that way. There's push motivation, which is, let's say, duty,
Yeah.
or I've got to do this, or I have to do, or obligation,
Yeah.
right? Or just, I'm going to make this happen. And look, brother, you have a huge amount of willpower. It's pretty obvious by what you've accomplished. I have tremendous respect for you. And I do too. But willpower only goes so far. That's push.
Yeah.
Pull motivation is where there's something out there that you want to serve more than yourself, that'll get you up early, keep you up late. And it isn't hard. It isn't duty. It is like what I'm made for.
Yeah.
When you tap into that, your energy level will explode, your contribution will explode. It doesn't mean overnight everything is going to work your way. Of course it doesn't work that way. But it will give you the constant endurance to move forward in a way in which you enjoy your life, rather than someday when I get to this number, then I'm slowly going to feel good.
Mm, mm. Okay. All right, Tony, talk that. He's saying, look, Tony's already at the $1 billion mark, right? Tony is where Alex Hermosi, the influencer with the hat on, Tony's where that dude wants to be. But Tony's also saying, listen, the cash is great, the money is great, the lifestyle is great, but to be lived. But the only thing that's even making life worth it for the billionaire is to be lived, to be pooled, to be doing exactly what I am meant to do, to be doing exactly what you are meant to do. And he's coaching them. It's just a conversation. He's not taking them through specific practices or anything like that. He's just giving them the game. He's just saying, listen, you done spent your time building up this empire, and that's great. It took a lot of willpower in order to do it. It took a lot of intelligence in order to do it. But you'll never be fulfilled unless you decide to take this other path. And so that conversation is what got me actually looking and saying, you know what? What would it actually look like to live from the heart? Folks, on tonight, that's exactly what we're discussing. And what I want to do is an actual breakdown. Before we get to all that, folks, don't think I don't see you. Twin, I see you in the room. Sublime, I see you in the room. Felicity, I see you in the room. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Afraid of Soul Child, I see you in the room. Welcome in. I love it when y'all put y'all first name in the chat so I can shout you out properly. You dig, but welcome in. So here we go. The reason that this hit so much, and me and Felicity, we were just, on YouTube or whatever, we were watching this the other night, this clip I just showed you with the influencers. And I was like, yo, that is like our story. Right? So what got me was the sense that back in 2020, I retired. I was just done working and doing anything that didn't feel like that wasn't my own thing. Like I had came out of tech sales, started investing. I started investing years ago, but in 2020 is when it became real, and I was like, oh wait, I don't have to go to work anymore. I don't have to do that anymore. So what happened was is that I was just excited. a new type of life was opening up, but I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know what to do with it. So I'm sitting around. I've got all the time in the world. And the thing I started noticing is that the world works differently when you're not at the 9 to 5. It looks differently. Like there's not as many people outside at 11 a.m. You can't really even call the homies up because everybody's scheduled, everybody's on the clock. So I'm like, oh man, what do I do with all this free time? And quickly I started seeing that, oh, okay, there is not enough consumption in the world. There is not enough restaurants that you can go eat at, not enough places that you can go visit. I did that. Not enough parties that you can go kick it at. There's not enough. Because at some point, all of those activities and events end, and you're back in your living room staring at the walls. So I was like, okay, I got to start like getting something. I got to start. I had a business coach at the time, um, one of the co-founders of Afrotech, and he was like, we would just kind of be working. He was like, look, what are you about? And I was like, listen, I'm thinking about something about speaking. I'm thinking something about speaking. Like there's something on my that's coming to me talking about speaking. If I could just be speaking, I think that would kind of be kind of cool. I think that would be slick. So he came to the house one day and we're sitting on the patio and I was like, yo, I think if I could just start speaking and writing, then maybe that could be my path. That's what I wanted. But really what I was after was a sense of purpose. I wanted something that was going to pull me. What am I? No, no, now that no longer I am being led by the intellect alone. Like once you win that game, whatever it means for you at that particular point in time, once you win or you cross over, like what else? What else? So ultimately, I'm pacing around and I start thinking, okay, what would it look like? What would it look like? Okay, maybe I could start like a YouTube channel or something. Maybe I could do something like this. Maybe I could, but I kind of want to speak and I want to be able to. I had a meditation laboratory for a decade. I would love to be able to take that knowledge and crystallize it and put it into something that I could speak about, that people could get, they could understand. And that's when I was like, okay, well, if I could speak about something and I could get people to understand it and I could crystallize this information, could I put it out online? And of course, figuring out how to do all that is its own journey. But eventually, I think we rented out a church and we did our first video, hired the cameraman, did the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? I start finding out like, oh shoot, I kind of like this filmmaking thing. Like if I could speak, but what if I could turn it into like a cinematic, like a movie experience? Like, okay, cool, cool, cool. And then I ran into the issue of figuring out that wait, to speak, there's a one-way communication when you do a video, right? People can't really interact with you. So I'm like, dang, what could I do so that the interaction, the communication that the speeches aren't just speeches, but they could actually speak directly to somebody. They could actually speak in real time, and I could see them actually being affected by what's being said. I could see the knowledge land. I could see the information land. What would that look like? What if I could do something like that? So I started making these plans. It started in Tahiti. We flew to Tahiti and we started doing like these exercises with people and we brought the camera for, you know what I'm saying? The camera folks out and did the whole thing and okay, cool, cool, cool. Went back, edited it, Cool. I like the way it looked. Let's do this again. Next time in Atlanta, and that's where we went. But eventually, doing all of those videos, there came a point in time when I was like, I don't know how the Atlanta experience is going to go, because it's one thing to just be having these conversations or just be doing, sort of like energy exercises with the public. But it's another thing to take these ideas and turn them into street therapy. That was my whole deal. I was like, could I turn these ideas that we got from Tahiti, could I turn them into street therapy? Could I transform somebody in 7 minutes on the streets? And so as I'm leaving my house to fly to Atlanta, I remember thinking like, man, what if none of this works? But I could still feel this subtle pull that was saying, just go ahead and go. You dig what I'm saying? And so tonight, I want to show you what that looked like. I want to show you what that looked like because that was the first that was the first season of Countdown to Breakthrough. And so unlike most nights on the Breakthrough Live, tonight I actually want to do a episode breakdown, answering that single question. What does it actually look like to live from the heart? As we are watching tonight, we are looking to pull out principles. We are looking to see what is actually happening on camera and see if we can see inside of the people that we see, the people that we meet. I want to get a sense for how life takes care of life, if life takes care of life when we decide to live from the heart. And so this one, I thought, yeah, remember I was talking about I wanted to do some speaking and I wanted to do some transforming of people. I was like, yo, what if we could turn the speaking, the transforming of people, and the performance art into one thing? What if I could straight up go and turn a therapy? What if I could hide a therapy inside of a rap song and literally run up to people on the street and say, hey, listen, I wrote a song for you. Do you have 7 minutes? Can I show you how beautiful your mind is? Would that work? The heart is pulling. The intellect is saying, dude, you might as well stay at home. There's got to be another way. Intellect is saying, don't do it. But the heart is saying, the heart is pulling. So sometimes it's helpful to just see what it looks like. I want to know what it actually looks like. That's why we're doing this full breakdown tonight. And so as we begin, we start with our episode of literally running on the streets, and I'm about to rap to people, but I've hidden a therapy inside the rap song. See, this is what the heart, this is what that pull factor, we could also just call it love. This is what love is telling me to do. It's telling me to create something that's never been done before. Be willing to put yourself at risk. Be willing to look stupid repeatedly and often. Be willing to go, even when the intellect is saying that this doesn't make any sense, because you know what the alternative is. It's not even about an episode. It's not about a series. It's not about a product. It's not about a piece of art. It's not about YouTube. It's not about none of that. It's the simple fact that if you don't follow the heart, you could end up in front of Tony with $250 million you making every year from your portfolio companies, and still like it don't mean much. I think at some point it starts to settle in on people that you do not have long on the planet. At some point, particularly at the mid-30s, you start to say, well, dang, hold on, I only got like if I'm good, maybe 5, 6 decades left. At some point, you start realizing that all of the cash can't buy you another 80 years. At some point, you start realizing that money itself is a game invented by other people. But I'm here to play a game invented by God. At some point, you're going to realize that, wait, money itself is a game invented by other people. They putting people on the money. They put people on the money, champ. So they're putting people on the money. It's a game invented by other people. And you know that the wealthiest man in the world, whoever that is at the time that you're watching this, cannot buy themselves 80 years. So you're saying that money can buy you everything but real time. It can buy you other people's labor, but it can't purchase you eternity. So then what are we really doing here? At a point, the bulk of my day has to be in service of something that's pulling me. It can't just be all of this push. Because the one thing I dislike the most is playing silly games and winning silly prizes. That's what I don't like the most. I don't like playing silly games and winning silly prizes. All because somebody said, hey, this is what you're supposed to be, this is how you're supposed to be living. This is what you're supposed to be doing. So no. We got to live from this other place. We have another choice that we can make. We have another choice that we can make. Tanya saying good evening. Good evening, Tanya. Welcome in. Welcome in. If you're just joining, the question we're exploring tonight is simple. What does it actually look like to live from the heart? The reason we have to explore this question is because, frankly, I don't think there's a more important question when it comes to our career, when it comes to our relationships, when it comes to the life that we're building. When it comes to the life that you are building, the one question that cannot go unanswered is, what does it actually look like to live from the heart for me? Let's get to it, because I want to, again, as we're breaking down this episode, I want you to know how I went into it, that it was a leap of faith. As you might expect, I'm not a rapper, but I thought if there's a way to get somebody's attention in such a way that I could hide the healing within the performance, could it be something that not only serves people, but frankly, how obedient could I be to this pull factor? How obedient could I be to the God within? How obedient can I follow the dictates of the heart? How much could I follow love? That's the exercise for me. How closely can I follow love? From the time I leave the door in Austin to the time I arrive in Atlanta and start running up on people on the streets. Oh, and there's only 7 minutes to actually give somebody an actual breakthrough. Because unlike here on the streets, there's a time limit and people are really not trying to talk to you like that. Check this out.
Everyone carries something heavy inside. I rap until you let it go.
Ma'am, can I show you how beautiful your mind is? I'm Dr. Shawn, I'm a therapist. I wrote a song for you. Can I share it with you?
A song?
I don't serve you in 7 minutes. I pay you cash just for taking your time today. All right.
Sorry.
It's a lot of things that I've gone through within the past year. Traumas, breaking me down.
7 minutes on the clock right now. Close your eyes, go inside. All of you is justified. It should come as no surprise that you're the love God cares about.
Nope.
wait.
Yes.
So you're gonna free me?
What if the free when you decide?
We're in the middle of a city.
I was just like thinking about a whole bunch of negative stuff. God sent you to just give me a word.
We bring heaven to earth when we transform our minds. I'm Dr. Shawn, and we weren't sent to impress our people. We were sent to transform our people into a light for the world. For God's universe opens to all who believe in breakthrough.
You had
Okay, dang. I'm glad somebody said sound. Felicity said sound. Okay, so the point that I was just saying, my bad. The point that I was just saying was that as I just watched that first clip, what's appearing to me right now is the fact that there's no, there's nothing in my past that would have predicted that I would be running through the streets, getting rejected by people, having invented a new science of psychology, and turning it into a film project, turning it into a TV series. Nothing in my past would predict that kind of behavior. And so what I'm saying is that the heart will lead me to do things that I would not otherwise do on my own. That's the first thing I'm recognizing tonight is that the as I'm sitting here and watching this, is that the heart will lead me to do things that I would not do on my own. And so as we continue, I'm just noticing that nothing in my past would have predicted this behavior. And so that means that the heart must be able to see something, that a new avenue, a new direction. And these were 12-hour days, champ, that we out here really just like running down on people, getting rejected and the whole thing. But as we continue to move, it's like you can feel this energy shifting. You can feel this energy rising. And even as I just watch this back, I'm like, and I don't often watch these, but even as I watch them back, I'm just like, okay, this is getting beyond myself. This path is getting beyond myself. This pool will pull me beyond myself. Let's get back.
you had a surgery on your hands or just on your eyes?
No, I had oh shit. It's called a retinal detachment.
Yes.
So that allowed my vision to go left.
Okay.
Meaning that, like in this eye, I have low vision.
I see.
And in this eye, I have no vision.
Oh wow.
Right now.
Okay, but it gets better.
I'm gonna say right now.
Yes.
So it took about 3 surgeries for them to
Take your time.
to try to correct it. So, you know, I'm looking for a next a second opinion. But that's what it is right now. So a lot of times it's like I have to see people numerous amount of times before I actually, recognize them. Or I have friends that are walking to me, I'm like, who are you? Because of my vision.
I see.
Long,
yes.
So I just feel like that's not my story. Right. I don't feel that way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You may walk and talk and do these things as if you're normal, but inside, I don't feel like I am.
Imagine this. You're
Ooh, okay. Okay. So a couple of things, like meeting this man and having him open up to me like that. Like what you find is that what were the chances for real, for real? What were the chances? I just and someone just asked me, they're like, look, you sound like you made a bunch of money and then you got to follow your heart. You feel me? Like, no, I feel what you're talking about. But like, just consider for a moment, what were the chances that a dude who lives in Austin, Texas, would randomly on a Tuesday or a Sunday, whenever this was, run up and meet somebody, a random stranger in Atlanta? Have that stranger open up right there on the street, and the man that he's speaking to, which is yourself, has a small window, an opportunity to serve. Like, what are the like without following the heart, there is no chance. There's no reason I would have been in Atlanta on that day, and certainly not looking for people on the street. So what I'm saying is that this heart situation, it must be able to order our steps in a way that we cannot predict. So it doesn't really matter, like the retirement part, it just helped me start getting clear on the questions. But if you took all of the money away and I had a great teacher, I had somebody who could save me the time of having to go get some money. If someone could have just saved me the time and been like, listen, just follow the heart. But following the heart requires that you listen to the heart. If somebody would have just said that, they would have saved me time. Because what I'm saying is that following the heart means that you're trusting. Some people say God. Some people say the great forces of nature. Some people say the universe. Some people say your truer self. I just say love. You're trusting love to direct and order your steps, to put the right people in the right place at the right time. It don't make no difference if there's cash or not. How could it? It just so happens that some people, myself included, needed the space and the time to be able, because there's such a shortage of teachers who would come out and say, hey, follow the heart, but follow the heart in a way that you can train, in a way that requires you to deepen within yourself. Not just Disney follow the heart, but like follow the heart in a way that means you are tuning yourself to an inner energy field. Hmm. This ain't about no cash. The cash can be a detour. It was a necessary detour for those of us who did not have the specific person to come through and say, hey, what does it actually look like to live from the heart for you? Had I had somebody like that, I would have been able to skip some steps. I wouldn't have had to do all the other stuff. Had I had someone like that and trusted that what they were saying was real and I could feel it. Let's get back.
walking down the street and you're hearing the noise of every passing. Right.
I don't
In your life, ringing in.
I don't feel like I am.
Imagine this, you're walking down the street and you're hearing the noise of every past mistake, every disappointment, every regret you've ever had in your life ringing in your ears. It feels loud, doesn't it? Like you'll never be free of it. But let me ask you, what if you're free when you decide? What if the noise of your inner critic could dissolve in an instant? Not through years of searching in silence, but through sound. Throughout history, humans have turned to rhyme and rhythm in order to connect us to something greater than ourselves. From ancient mantras to modern hip-hop, the right words spoken at the right moment can tune your mind to a higher frequency. Today, I'm literally rapping to strangers on the streets in a new reality-bending mind game. But this rap is different because I've hidden a secret message inside of my song that's meant to transform these strangers forever. Watch complete strangers step out of their pain and into the lap of God. It's all to prove to you that the freedom you've been searching for is here now, singing from your true self. And you can hear it, but only if you decide. What if this is the moment where you decide? Welcome. This is Countdown to Breakthrough.
Okay, champs. So the reality is this. We are talking about, remember Tony at the beginning of the conversation tonight, Tony basically said that your words carry power. He was like, listen, I don't define what I do as duty. I define it as a pull, as an opportunity, as a contribution. He says it's not duty. Alex was the entrepreneur, the young entrepreneur, the younger guy. He was like, he defines his work as duty. Tony was like, no, 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 I don't define it as duty. I define it as contribution because duty is assigned to willpower. Your words matter. Duty carries the frequency of willpower, but contribution carries this frequency of the heart. They're different. One will take you much further, even if it looks slower. One will take you much further, even if it looks slower. So when we're talking about rap, we're paying attention to words, we're paying attention to frequencies, right? This is what was on my heart to do. The reason I was out in Atlanta in the first place. This was just one of the episodes, but it came to me that, wait, we need to start paying attention to frequencies, that our words actually matter. It just so happens that Tony was coaching somebody who was going through something similar to what I was going through on the very same thing. Interesting. 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 Okay, Sublime saying, okay, we back. Excellent, excellent, excellent. To be present, it's frequency. Excellent. So ultimately, as we're talking about this tonight, again, I know that people are at home thinking like, oh man, well, easy for you to say, bruh. I got bills to pay. This goes back to my definition of retirement in the first place. At first, I thought retirement was an age. I thought that once you got old, you just retired and that you were good at that point. Then I learned that that's not true. Like there's a lot of old people who still gotta, you know what I'm saying, who are at these Amazon, warehouses and all this. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't true. So then I thought, oh wait, no, it's really a number. If you just hit your number, then you good. The retirement, y'all, it's just a number. Oh, just go make whatever you need for the year, right? So if you can do 100 band, say you need 100,000 for a year, okay, well just hit that in a month and then you done for the year. Hit it in a day and you done for the year. What are we saying? You're not working all year. That's retirement. Or you do make a large lump sum, then you invest at 10%, whatever the case is, and you just living off your interest. Okay, cool. It's a number. But then I recognize that there's actually a deeper layer, which has nothing to do with age, has nothing to do with the number, and has everything to do with the decision, the pure decision to say, no, I decide what I'm going to work on. I decide how I spend my time. And that I'm going to live from this heart space or not at all. That should be scary to a few people. But think about it. Then 50 Cent come around and say, look, get rich or die trying. I like the energy. It's just misdirected. I'm saying get love or die trying. You dig what I'm saying? Abide in God's message and God's will or die trying. I'm saying live in true reality or die trying. What's somebody want to tell me I'm crazy? I think it's crazy to do anything else. That's why we have to come to this question. What does it actually look like to live from the heart? Because people, they ain't teaching this in school. I wonder why, but they ain't teaching this in school. Sublime saying, oh, I hadn't thought of it like that. Sublime, what you mean? Be specific. I think Sublime, you from Sublime, where you at? Are you New York? I feel like you're East Coast. So you remember that G Unit, Get Rich or Die Trying, the cat came through. It was like, oh, and it just hit so hard because so many people can relate to trying to get the money at all costs. And I respect warrior energy. That's one thing about me. I'm just saying let's direct it so that that warrior energy is in the service of God. It's in the service of love. When I say God, I don't mean a guy in the sky. I mean the deep fabric of reality, the basic basis of reality. You can say true nature. You can say true love. But what I'm saying is let's apply that same attitude, not to get rich or die trying, but to live in this love expression, living at this higher level of purpose and settling for nothing else. That's retirement because you're retiring from the old system. Bro, you're retiring from the old system. That's what I mean when I say retirement. You're retiring from the old system. The old system, I was like, oh man, you need to work and do this. And then once you're old, your pension will kick in. What? You out here crossing your fingers, champ, only to win a game that has some silly prizes. That has some silly prizes. One of the things that got me for years was this concept of generational wealth. Like I was like, oh yeah, we gotta get the generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? Like let's go ahead and if we can just build the portfolio companies, then we can just same thing. I mean, investing. We'll just build the setup, the portfolio that is bulletproof. That's going to be always so that you know what I'm saying. When we're not here, we can just pass it along to our kids and this, that, and third. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's noble, but consider that generational wealth is only generational if you're not at war. Warfare messes all of that up. It's generational wealth until there's a war that collapses not just your monetary ecosystem, but literally just extracts wealth from people. Like so we're playing out a fiction in our mind. It's one thing to leave our children with something that's with a better position than what we started with, but that's not really what we're talking about. We're thinking about, oh, let's go ahead and let's imagine this future that nobody is actually preparing for, and let's make believe that the money we make now will somehow survive that future. That is insane to me. I don't see how we can get into a position where none of us are paying attention to this higher frequency, to this level of clarity. We're not trying to pass clarity down to our children. We're trying to pass down consumption habits, and thinking that that's never going to catch up to us. I don't get that. I don't get that. We're not passing down warrior habits to the next generation. We're passing down material consumption habits and pretending like the money we pass on to the next generation or the assets we pass on to the next generation, that they'll be capable of keeping. No, no. The true asset is your capacity to create value. And you can only do that when you're tapped in to that which is valuable. Stop me if I'm not making sense. Stop me if I'm not making sense. I need to know. I need to know because I'm open. I need to know. I need to know. Okay, Sublime's in Philly. Sublime saying, I, you said, oh, the number is what you referred to. Sublime saying, I guess the next question is, how do I hit the number? Yeah, that's the point though, Sublime, is that it's not really a number. The number is the halfway stage. The reality is that it's more of a decision. And that's where this heart-based component comes in. Nobody can do this for you. You dig what I'm saying? It's not as easy as just hitting a number, and yet it's simpler. And the rewards are better than any number. Sublime saying, realize that it's not really a thing. People have left houses only for the taxes. For sure. Like Sublime saying, realize that it's not really a thing. People have left houses only for the taxes to come. She's talking about the property taxes to come and take it. And then, yeah, and for people watching and thinking about eminent domain, bro, there's like you name me a war where wealthy folks aren't getting their resources stripped from them. There's so much history I want to go into tonight. We still got a show to do, but that's a part of it, bro. Like, what you mean? Like, when people they go to war in order to do two things, they want to control two things: people and their stuff. So to me, it's like, listen, if we continue to pursue the life of the intellect, the life of what other people have conditioned us to want, we stop being great stewards of wisdom. We stop showing the next generation how to actually live. And what we're given in return is maybe a pat on the back, and ultimately we're given our time to die. Every single wealthy person that has ever existed will be given, though they get paid in death. So I'm like, why not actually live a life that's worth living and show our children how to do the same? That they might show their children how to do the same. Stop me if this ain't making sense. She said, no one is, okay, twin saying no one's trying to make their ceiling their floor anymore. What you mean? What you mean? No one's trying to make their ceiling their floor anymore. What you mean? All right, in the meantime.
Excuse me, sir. Hey, I wrote a song for you. I'd love to be able to perform it for you.
I ain't got time. I'm on lunch break.
Oh, sure. Okay. I have to run. Excuse me, sir. I wrote a song for you. I wrote a song for you. I'd love to share it with you. True. Okay. Damn. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Can I show you how beautiful your mind is? I have 7 minutes. If you have 7 minutes, I can get it done.
Clock in.
Oh, you have lunch break later?
I just got off lunch.
Oh, I see. All right.
I'm sorry.
No
I don't want to
problem.
be late.
Yeah, you do. Oh, excuse me, ma'am.
So you see your boys out there getting rejected, okay? Out there getting rejected. It's tough out there. And what that means is that the heart can lead you into situations. That doesn't mean it takes away all the challenges. I'm only out there is no way on earth. Nobody's paying me. I'm not being sponsored. I left on a whim. I get down to Atlanta. I do not live there. And I'm asking people, hey, I wrote a song for you. Can I show you how beautiful your mind is? Man, listen. And I'm only showing you a few because you know what I'm saying? Like this video is only going to show you, this episode is only going to show you a few of the rejections. It was like that all week. Okay, so the heart is bringing me into this space, but it's not giving me all of the answers right away. It's not making everything click. It's not as if everything just goes. So even on the path of the heart, there are still challenges, except there seems to also be this propulsive energy. As I'm sitting here looking at the screen and I'm looking at myself or on the screen, like I can see that there's this energy that's coming through. And I remember how it feels. I remember how it felt to be able to see a setback, to be able to get the rejection, to be on camera with it and still be like, wait, we got time. Let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, Twin. So Twin saying 400 years ago, they stripped all the rights of guilds. They stood for ultimate love. You were taught a skill you mastered. No money, no mind games, a real society. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's quite a few things happening 400 years ago. Like, yeah, okay, that's a whole, at some point, I'm going to start bringing in the history lessons too, you know what I'm saying? Just because it's like, I mean, if you need any proof that wealth gets confiscated during times of warfare, let's just talk about what everyone already knows. World War II, the Nationalist Socialist Party of Germany, also known as the Nazi Party of Germany. Do you think that when they decided that, hey, look, there's not going to be any more private businesses, we're nationalizing everything, which means everything belongs to the state, everything belongs to the German people, champ? Do you think that when they were confiscating businesses and then putting business owners in concentration camps as long as they were of a certain ethnic group, do you think they made sure the bank accounts were okay? Do you think they made sure that their cash flow deposits were still, that they were still getting their checks? They nationalized all of the businesses, which means give me that. That's warfare. And the only way to prevent something like that from happening is to have people who see the world differently, who see differently. They functionally they see differently, which means they come to different conclusions about what to do about reality. But how could anyone see differently if there are no examples? What I'm trying to say tonight is that when we take this path of following the heart, we're doing more than just following our own passion. We're being an example of what it means to actually create real value, one that you cannot pay to get. Say I understand if you understand. Say I understand if you understand. Let's get back. Sublime says they took their money. Yep.
Can I show you how beautiful your mind is?
Sure, I got it.
Okay, excellent. I wrote a song for you. Can I share it with you?
A song?
Yeah, I wrote a song for you. We're actually, yes.
What are we talking about?
What I'm saying is this. I'm Dr. Shawn, I'm a therapist. This is a mind game series.
Okay.
And I've got 7 minutes in order to serve you, okay?
Okay.
If I don't serve you in 7 minutes, I pay you cash just for taking your time today. Are you up to play?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, roger that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is good because we. Are you up to play?
Okay.
Okay, all right, let's rock and roll. Okay. What's your name? Dwayne. Excellent. What's your name?
I'm Disha.
Nancy? Dimitri. Juke. Oh, Juke. Okay. And what's your name?
Shawn.
You're Shawn?
Yes.
I'm Shawn. I'm
Are you really?
I am, Dr. Shawn. I have 7 minutes to walk Joseph through a transformation.
And there we go. So I get in a situation where I'm following the heart. It puts me on a plane, flies me down to Atlanta, and I'm on the street chasing after people. I'm getting rejected. And then something says, hey, keep going. And in the same place where I'm getting rejected, I turn and there's somebody who finally says, sure. You see, that's how it is. That's how that works, is that the heart is telling you to go, and there will be some resistance. There will be some challenges, some encountering. But as I'm sitting here watching, I can just remember that feeling of having someone say, sure. Because once they open up the door, now I get my shot. Now I get my chance. Now I get my shot. Now I get my chance. Sublime saying, I understand. Twin saying, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Twin saying, trying to throw the threes in, throw the trays in. Excellent, excellent. Let's continue.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Bible reminds us that there is a sacred sound at the core of existence. Even the Rig Veda, one of humanity's oldest sacred texts, uses hymns to align the human soul with universal energy. Today, we know that words, rhythmically spoken, carry a frequency that has the power to transform. When Pac said, keep your head up, do you know how many people felt that? When Lauren said that consequence is no coincidence, how many did she awaken?
So here we go. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this language. I'm talking about, remember, I was saying how, the heart was telling me that, yeah, wait, do speaking, get your writing, language. It's telling me, get involved with language. You need to express yourself in the way that only the heart can express. You're not going to be able, I don't get the instructions here. I get the instructions here. So it's like, okay, language. We start to get to this episode, and now we're talking about words carrying frequencies. We're talking about words being able to curate spirit, being able to direct consciousness, direct attention. When Pac says, keep your head up, who felt that? Lauren says, consequence is no coincidence. Who felt that? That if we can arrange language in a pattern, knowing that words carry this power, as Tony was pointing out to us earlier in the conversation, could we use words in order to set people free? That's deep. Okay, I see y'all putting the tray threes in. Excellent. Let's get back.
Idea isn't just poetic. Scientists are starting to realize that rhythmic speech synchronizes neural activity and promotes inner clarity. A 2024 study in Advances in Integrative Medicine found that rhythmic speech increases alpha waves in the brain, decreasing both anxiety and depression at the same time. Whether through mantra or rap, these vibrations help us align with a higher frequency. But this goes deeper than you think.
Okay, so listen, at this point, the heart is telling me to, bring all of myself to bear, right? It's like for me, it's not as if like I spent a lot of my time in universities doing research, creating peer review scholarship, independent scholarship, publishing papers, international research. It's like, okay, how do you bring all these elements and parts of yourself together? How do you bring the scholar with the PhD, the person who built the meditation laboratory and spent a decade plus, 15 years investigating the mind from the meditation cushion, this creative, this language, this writer, all of these different this filmmaker, like how do you bring all of this together? Like what would that look like? Oh, and also the sales dude who's used to running up on people, typically when there's money involved, not typically when there's just embarrassment involved. So how do you bring all these different elements together? The intellect, man, is not going to do it. Intellect ain't going to do it. But the heart can. Had I moved by intellect alone, I don't know if there would have been a countdown to breakthrough. But as you're seeing here, the concept is that these spiritual ideas, it takes the Western Academy years and years and years, decades and decades and decades to kind of catch up to you know. But when they do, we can say it. And now somebody who needs to hear it from an academic standpoint can get that information too. And so now we start layering on these layers of meaning. Only the heart can do this. So you're saying, what's it actually look like to live from the heart? Well, this is it. What are the principles that we're picking up? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Sublime saying, yes, words set people free and they don't even need to be in a language we know. Ooh, champ. Sublime, why'd you have to say that? Sublime, why'd you have to say that? Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. She said, yes, words set people free and they don't even need to be in a language we know. There's something I've wanted to reveal to you, and I wasn't going to do it for weeks. I wasn't supposed to be working on it for another 50 years. I'm sorry, 65, 35. I wasn't supposed to be working on this for another 30 years. This thing that I want to show you that Sublime is making me think of. Oh, I'm thinking like, do I need to say it now? Like, is now like the perfect time? Oh, I mean, we could just continue unless y'all want to hear. Um, wow, wow, wow. Words set people free and they don't even need to be in a language we know. Mm, I have something that I want to show you. I wasn't supposed to be working on it for another 30 years, but I started working on it a few weeks ago. And it was supposed to be something that 65, 66, that's kind of the time when I was supposed to kind of start working on this project. But just what Sublime said made me think like, oh man, I'm not supposed to even be talking about it. I say supposed to. I wasn't going to talk about it until it was just a little bit further along. Let me let me know if y'all would want a sneak peek. Just put some twos in the chat if y'all would want a sneak peek. In the meantime, I'll keep tonight's energy going. Okay. Yes. And also, yes, words set people free and they don't even need to be in a language we know. Yes. Okay.
That's because when pain, sorrow, regret, and worry live inside of the body, we replay the patterns of the past without even realizing it. The rhyme and message in today's mind game is designed to break those negative patterns, allowing you and each player who hears them to speak a new reality into existence. The reason
Okay, so we're talking about speaking a new reality into existence. We're talking about a language. We're talking about speaking a new reality into existence, but one that is heart-based, one that comes from centering our lives around that pool, around that love, one that, if you like the Abrahamic traditions, one that puts God first. Mm. If you like the Taoist tradition, one that is rooted in the Tao. Mm.
I'm bringing this unique mind game to strangers on the streets is because I want to help them let go of their past. But the deeper reason I'm making this mind game is because I've spent 20 years with a whole lot to give, but unsure of how to give it. I remember being 15 and writing my first poems in my notebook. I always wanted my writing to serve something beyond myself. But I was unable to say what I truly wanted out of fear that nobody would understand.
Walking through a voiceless wilderness, like concrete hitting my throat. My shoulders falling forward, eyes swollen. The emptiness in my chest, the emptiness in my heart.
That's why I want today's mind game to be my chance to go beyond myself.
But today, when I meet these players, I sense this suffocating overwhelm too hard to breathe. Her muscles holding her captive, bound by a self that can't let go. Every voice feels like sandpaper on her skin. Looking down on himself, his spine curls under the weight of invisible stones, like he's leaving emotions undigested in his heart, carrying a backpack of trauma he can't let go. That's why I know if I fail today, we'll each go on as we normally would, trapped in a rhythm of trauma with no way to sing ourselves free.
So here we go. We're talking about that sense of, what it feels like when the heart is calling you. In my case, I start writing poems at 15 years old, and they're still in there. I still got them in the other room, actually. And it's like, for me, that was like 21 years ago. But what is it like when your talents, the things that your heart is calling you to, you just continue to put on the back burner? For me, the experience was a lot like what I just said, where it's almost like I started to feel suffocated in life. Even after the so-called success, much like Alex Hormozy, I started to feel like I was suffocating. Like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is this? What is this? Something wants to express itself, something wants to speak, but my own willpower, my own ignorance is choking it, is keeping it silent. So I was remaining voiceless. So I was remaining voiceless. And what I started seeing was that people I met on the street, they were mirroring me. And we'll see that. We'll see that in a moment.
But that's when I noticed one woman won't speak. That's because she can't. Hi there, can I show you how beautiful your mind is? So what we're doing is we're shooting a mind game series, and basically I have 7 minutes, okay, to show you the power and the beauty of your own mind. And if I don't get it done in 7 minutes, then I pay you cash just for taking the time. Are you up to play? Okay, excellent. What's your name? Oh, beautiful. Okay. Yes, yeah, let's handle all of this. Okay. She's mute. I try to put on a smile, but what if I can't connect here? Are you able to communicate with me through your phone? Beautiful. I have 7 minutes, folks. I am learning the name of this young lady.
Okay, so what are the chances for real that this project being about speaking, being about language, I'm flying to Atlanta, I land, I'm running up on people on the street, I'm following the heart, or at least doing my best. And after facing the rejections, I start meeting people, and then I meet this person, this woman, who physically and literally cannot speak. Why would the heart lead me to this particular woman? Why would the heart put me into this exact position? Let's continue. What what do I need to learn from this woman? That's the question. Though I'm there to serve her, what do I actually need to learn? She's showing up for a reason. We don't even live in the same state. But on this day, at this time, here we are meeting each other. Sublime saying no coincidence. You saying that consequence is no coincidence? Hmm.
Brianna. Okay, Brianna is her name. Do you like rap? Oh, okay. Well, that's what I got for you. Okay, so here we go. That's when I think. You know how if you strike a tuning fork, its vibrations fill the air. And if you bring another tuning fork close, it begins to hum. Not because you touched it, but because the vibrations were shared. What if humans work the same way? In 1992, researchers discovered a phenomenon called emotional contagion. This means that happiness, sadness, joy, or worry, or any emotion you emit creates a wave that influences the emotions of people around you. It's as if your inner frequency becomes the waves shaping the world around you. What's more, when you ask other people questions while resonating in your emotional state, you create a matching emotion in those people too. What if love is the sound the world needs to hear right now?
And there's our question. What if love is the sound the world needs to hear right now? It's the reason that we're even asking the question, what does it actually look like to live from the heart in the first place? This concept of emotional contagion, if the exuberance that we are vibrating with, the exuberance that we take, or that rather gets called out of us when we decide to follow that heart situation, when we decide to follow that pull situation, when we decide to follow love, that exuberance, that love, that feeling of authentic power, that gets shared. You emit it, other people catch it. It's contagious. The researchers literally called it emotional contagion. And so when that's the case, you can see that by taking responsibility for our path, for deciding that, wait, we're going to live by this heart path. We're going to live by this joy. We know that the very person that we become in that moment starts to influence and affect other people even without us having to say anything, which gets at Sublime's point here. that people can be set free even if they don't know the language. Hmm.
What if I could intentionally tune myself to a higher frequency, love, peace, joy, and let that vibration ripple to these strangers? If I could hold love in myself and then ask each player a powerful enough question, could I help these perfect strangers achieve a higher emotional frequency no matter how well I perform? I decide to tap in. My plan is to sing my song twice. That's because I'm programming my song with a special kit, a conscious transformation technology designed to eliminate these players' hidden and unconscious negative beliefs. The kit I'm using today is called the Higher Reprogramming Question. Higher reprogramming questions reprogram negative beliefs with higher, more positive beliefs by changing what the mind focuses on. If I can just hold a higher frequency within myself and ask a powerful enough higher reprogramming question at the same time, that should be enough to help each player shift to a resonance of love and peace. The countdown begins anyway.
Okay, so I'm talking about if I can just hold a higher frequency in myself. I would say this. One of the good things is that in following this path of the heart and following this pull and following this love, it's actually a little easier because a lot of time, like love is what brought me there, and so I can feel it while I'm there, and I'm clearly in a new environment, and so it's like, well, I'm only here because of the love choice, because of the heart choice. I'm only here because I'm living from the heart in this moment, and so the very environment becomes a mirror of my choice. The very environment becomes a mirror of my choice. So now I'm looking around. I'm in it. Got the trees, you know what I'm saying? This young lady's in front of me. Just miraculously just happens to be dealing with a voicelessness of a different sort of order. And I'm sitting here trying to combat a different kind of voicelessness, the one that comes when I don't follow the heart. And as I'm sitting here, I'm looking around, and the environment confirms my choice. The very environment that I'm in confirms my choice, which means tuning myself to this frequency is actually a little easier because it's as if the entire world is conspiring to make sure that I feel it. Once I take that first step, it's as if the entire world is conspiring to make sure that I take the second. Hmm. Let's get back.
7 minutes on the clock right now. Here we go. You fresher than a free first. Say it fast like me first. Even when your feet hurt, know that you a queen first. Know that you a king first. Anytime your spirit hurts, just rehearse this little verse. This here is called the freedom work. Here's how it really works. Close your eyes, go inside. All of you is justified. It should come as no surprise that you're the love God cares about. Attention on your belly now. Watch your air move in and out. It doesn't really matter how. Nothing even matters now. Can you feel all that presence here? Feel that peace is drawing near. You're letting go of all your fears, even the ones you thought you hid. This is a message from the Most High. Your demons call a truce tonight. They see you found the truth inside. Now you're free when you decide. Open eyes, open eyes. Feel your glowing inner light. Anytime that you decide. What if you're free when you decide? Okay, so that's the actual rap, okay? Act like she liked it, she liked it. Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, so keep in mind, the idea is to hide a therapy inside the rap song. So I had to do it first quickly, and then we'll see what happens next. But Why would I think to do this? I don't think I would think to do this. You see what I'm saying? I would not think to do this. It is completely heart-based direction, love-based direction, being lived by something else beyond my own intellect. And so just having that first moment, that was like the first kind of confirmation that, okay, yeah, this is kind of cool, this will work. But again, man, following the heart, it don't always work out the way we think that it should, even when it's working out. I'll show you what I mean.
But they don't even get it.
Nope.
Say,
Yes.
so you're gonna pay me.
I know. I can't. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. That wasn't it.
So yet again, not everybody's getting it. In fact, it looked like ain't nobody getting it. And the issue too is that those are the moments when it becomes obvious to ask why. I thought I was doing everything right. I thought I was following my passion. I thought I was following the heart. Why would it bring me to a place of failure, of public embarrassment? Why would it do this? And so it's like, as I'm working through this, as I'm looking at this again from this lens, you might say, well, is there anything that you would say to kind of cheer yourself up, knowing what you know now? Would you say anything about what would you say to this previous version of yourself who's out there taking a chance, does not know what the video is going to look like, doesn't know what the episode is going to look like, doesn't know what any of this is, but is just living the moment by moment by moment? What would you say to them as to that person as they're basically floundering out here? That's a great question.
Now all I can do is hold a higher frequency in my heart and do what I came for. Now, for this particular one, as I say the words, when I say close your eyes, I actually want you to close your eyes because I hid a message inside of the poem just for you. So now we're going to take our time through it, okay? When I say open your eyes, that'll be time to open your eyes. But don't open them until we've gone through that part, okay? So here we go. You fresher than a free verse, say it fast like me first. Even when your feet hurt, know that you a king first. If anytime your spirit hurts, just rehearse this little verse. This here is called the freedom work. Here's how it really works. Close your eyes. Go inside. All of you is justified. It should come as no surprise that you're the love God cares about. Attention on your belly now. Watch your air move in and out. Doesn't really matter how. Nothing even matters now. Can you feel all that presence here? Feel that peace is drawing near. You're letting go of all your fears, even the ones you thought you hid. was a message from the Most High. Your demons, they call the truth tonight. They see you found the truth inside. Now you're free when you decide. Now you're free when you decide. Open eyes, open eyes. Feel your glowing inner light. Anytime that you decide. What if you're free when you decide? That's when this happens. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I don't know if you can see in this young woman, but there's a moment where her chest just kind of opens. Energetically, if you know how to pay attention to people energetically, you can sense when somebody has had, you can sense when somebody is opening, when somebody's becoming lighter, when they've dropped something. And so when I see that, I can see that change in energy on an internal level. I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe this is what the heart was wanting me to see, was wanting me to capture on video so that you could actually see what that expansion looks like. There's just that moment where her chest just, you can literally, it literally looks like something just dropped. Hmm. Hmm.
Yes. May I have a hug? Yes. I just have one question for you. And you can grab your phone, but the question is, what is your feeling? What does it feel like here? Does it feel light? That's what we want. And that feeling of lightness, I tell people all day, that's who you really are. That peace. That's that light, that touch of God within you. And so we want to make sure that when we use rap, I use rap because I know you don't like rap, but or at least you think it's okay, but like but I use rap because it's about rhythm. And sometimes we get into a rhythm of negativity when really we want to be in a rhythm of peace. And so anytime that you're feeling this draw of negativity, for whatever reason, maybe because sometimes you feel different or because you feel, however it feels, we all have that feeling. Can you come back to this feeling of lightness to draw you back into the rhythm of peace instead? That's all I'm asking for you, and that's all I'm praying for you, that you have this. We talk about a peace that passeth all understanding. We talk about a kingdom being within you, and so I just want you to be able to access that and to know, to remind you that that is always here. And so I just thank you so much for stopping and doing our game. Thank you. Oh, she says, I appreciate you so much. She's saying, thank you, and I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much. I need one more hug, please. I want you to have a blessed day.
Yeah, like, yeah, having one of those moments where there's this certain something. With her, it was so interesting because everything was just kind of felt underneath. Like you ain't got to worry about language, right? The person's not speaking in that way, so there has to be a deeper language that we tap into. What's so amazing to me is that there is no way that this experience would have been captured were it not for the decision to abide and live from this truer place. That, as I'm watching this, that is more of That's kind of the more the potent lesson for me.
That's my
Needed that.
song.
I needed that.
Okay. So so let me ask you this. What do you feel right now between the difference between going a little faster and going a little slower?
Definitely like an inner peace, I guess.
I just want to know right now, what's your feeling like inside of your body? What's the inside of your body feel like? What do you feel right now?
It is an interesting combination of very relaxed, but also very aware that we're in the middle of a city. But definitely feeling good actually on the inside.
In the time. I just have, one question for you, which is how do you feel right now?
I feel like lighter. I feel like my day is gonna be better.
Yeah, feel more positive.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just walking. I was just like thinking about a whole bunch of negative stuff.
Okay.
Like honestly speaking, and then just you stopping me by. I didn't want to stop because I didn't want to continue with my negative thought. And then you brought this a whole bunch of positivity, and I really appreciate it.
How do you feel right now?
I feel free, like I feel loose.
My feelings very light.
What do you feel like right now?
Definitely like 2 cheeseburgers.
Okay, what's that mean? What you mean?
There's no metaphor.
Okay, so you feel good like 2 cheeseburgers?
Yes, sir.
Delicious. He says. What do you feel?
Letting go.
Ooh, he says letting go. What's that feel like? What's that feeling when you let go? What's it feel like in your chest? What's happening inside your body right now? What's going on?
I actually just I'm house sitting for a friend of mine.
Okay.
It's a lot of things that I need to get done that I wasn't able to do. It's a lot of things that I've gone through within the past year. I'm actually just now getting out because of multiple surgeries that I've had last year that kind of put my life on hold for a little bit.
Okay.
So letting go would be me letting go of my traumas, my current situation, and just getting back to feeling like I'm free again.
Yes, that freedom piece.
Yeah.
When you hear a line like, all of you is justified, what does that mean to you?
A reminder that everything that I come with is okay.
Yes.
It's worth it. It's worth the work that it's going to take to, go through it. But it's also okay as it is.
Yes.
Everything's going to be okay.
Be yourself. That's deep.
What do you think the line means, all of you is justified? What does that mean to you?
We both everybody is like equal, really. Like we don't you don't have to like look down on yourself because you're not like, you don't think you're like up here, you think you're down here, but everybody is actually up here. You know what I mean? Like both in like spirit and in just like in general. You know what I mean? So that's what I get from it.
Yes.
Like, everybody's justified. Like
Yes, I said all of you is justified.
and yes, so my entire being is justified.
Right.
I think so.
Yes.
I know so.
I'm talking past, present, future. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter what any of that is. This moment matters.
Definitely.
And all of you is justified. You can let go of all that other stuff. The negativity, all the little thoughts, all that.
I was deep in that just now. Like really deep. But I don't know, probably God sent you to just give me a word.
Let me ask you, what do you think it means in that line?
Okay, that was I'm getting hit with something right now. Like he just talked about all of you, that all of you is justified, and that there's a sort of equanimity to existence. He says probably God sent you. But when we're talking about the heart, we're talking about what does it actually look like to live from the heart. The other way of saying that, what is it is what does it actually look like to live in God's purpose for you? And so when you think of it that way, it's like, oh, okay, all the other baggage, all the other stuff, all of the past, present, future, all of the other stuff that is not on the path of this heart can be dropped aside, left aside, left asunder. And so this Dwayne, this man that was just on camera, he's reminding us of that tonight. That when we live from this heart path, there's no reason for us to have even met in this lifetime. We don't live in the same city. We don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason, you know what I'm saying? There's billions of people you're not going to meet. But the fact is that this interaction happened in order that this truth may step forth, which is that what does it actually look like to live from the heart? Well, it looks like following God's plan, but more than that, it looks like letting go of everything that isn't living from the heart, of everything that isn't a part of divine frequency, of everything that isn't core and true to who you are. It's letting go of all that, including if it means letting go of the chase for money, letting go of the chase for freedom, and or I'm sorry, letting go of the chase for security, of safety, knowing, of course, that all your needs are satisfied as you continue to bring forth and live by this priceless value, as you continue to live by following the heart. It is all of life is about cultivating trust in that. The penalty, if you don't, is that you can end up winning and still losing. Winning in the world of financial scorecards and balance sheets and numbers in the account, but losing when it comes to how much you even care about living anymore. Don't make the trade. Or rather, learn from what is being shown here and say, okay, well, when we follow the heart, we can drop away all of the other stuff. I remember I was watching that Tony and Alex clip with Felicity, and my wife Felicity, and she was like, I was looking at her, and I was like, yo, this is just like us, right? Like he's in a position where now he can reflect on these ideas, but he doesn't know what to do. And I said something came through me in that moment, and I was like, if I could go back and speak to the younger version of myself who was recently going through the similar issue, I was like, I was asking, I was like, I would ask the question, could you, in following the heart, give back everything that you accomplished with the brain? Could you, if it meant that following the heart was fulfillment, and that following the heart was following God and was everything that it was the full plan, could you be brave enough to follow the heart even if it meant giving back everything that you accomplished with the brain, with the intellect? Could you do it? Which would mean In exchange for freedom, loosen the grip on security, loosen the grip on safety. Loosen the grip on looking good. In exchange for pure freedom, could you do it? Hmm. Quinn saying, ooh, that was powerful. Just as powerful as when I watched it the first time. You're doing the universe work. Thank you, twin. The other twin saying you should definitely come do this in Easton, PA. Yeah. Yeah, I wanna take it up a notch. Next time I run out on the streets, I wanna have like, like rides and attractions, like you know what I'm saying? Like I got a whole thing in my mind of how it should go. But again, it's coming back to that heart space. All right, let me continue.
Line, all of you is justified. What does that line mean to you?
For me, everything that I've been feeling, every emotion that I've been feeling, every visions that I've had that won't go away is now justified. It's like I was, and I took my time coming here today. You know what I'm saying? I currently live down the street, and I took this route to come here today. So I just felt like in this time, it was just like meant to. I'm walking the path that I'm supposed to.
Yes. And that line, what did you make of it? What if you're free when you decide? What does that even mean?
All right, I'm just gonna say this real quick. Like, remember the people that we meet are mirrors to us, right? And so he says it just in this time, his name is Shawn. Like, son's name is Shawn, spelled the way that I spell it, Shawn. You know what I'm saying? Like, his name is Shawn. And he says, it's like I'm walking the path that I'm supposed to. Now, he don't know where I'm from. He don't, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of cats running around Atlanta, like, you know what I'm saying? He don't know where I'm from. He don't know. So he's holding up. Remember, I just told you that the environment itself a moment ago was holding up this mirror, which made it easier to stay in presence. But this cat is now holding up a mirror to me. He says for him, it feels like he is walking the path he's supposed to, like living that heart-centered path. That's what he feels like. And so as I'm watching, I'm like, oh, me too. Forget the name similarity, the name mirror. The fact is that there is a deeper heart mirror. He was saying that the path that he was supposed to walk, it didn't quite work, so he had to go a different way, but it was important that he did go that way, otherwise we wouldn't have met on the street that day. So if you're asking what does it actually look like to live from the heart, looking like synchronicities abound. We say synchronicities, what's that mean? We're talking about the coincidences that mean something. We're talking about the connections that mean something, like as if your steps are ordered. The heart is not waiting for there to be enough cash in the account. It's not waiting for retirement. It's not waiting for everything to be all right. It doesn't need anything other than what is. And as I'm looking, I'm like, oh wow, when I'm willing to live by that, when I'm willing to abide in that, when I'm willing to follow that, I can serve at a higher level. But more importantly, I get energy to serve. Like it's energizing. It don't feel like work. Hmm. And somehow I'm able to find just the right people. I'm directed to just the right people who can be served. in this very unique way, which happens to be the way I'm uniquely suited to execute. Hmm. What's it actually look like to live from the heart? I like this. Okay, Felicity's saying not rides and attractions. Well, I'm thinking of a few things anyway. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. She's talking about for the next season of Countdown to Breakthrough. I want some sort of ride and attraction. But like it would be cool though.
To you.
Just another reminder of the power of the mind, and that really everything is a decision, it's a choice.
You know, you might be bound to some type of part of yourself that, that might be controlling your emotions or how you feel or your mood.
Yeah.
So when you set that free, you'll be free.
What do you think it means when you're free, when you decide?
When I've decided to let go of past situations, when I've decided to get beyond myself, break free from myself,
Yes.
my mental thoughts, and just kind of stop getting in my own head and breaking me down, that's when I feel like I'll be free.
Do you think that if I send you this, do you think that you could bring yourself back to just this peace that you feel and interrupt the rhythm of that negativity? That's why we use rap. It's just about interrupting rhythms. It's about playing with rhythm in order to create the life experience that God has for you. You dig what I'm saying? In order to accept it.
Yeah.
Do you believe that you could play with rhythm when it comes to negative thoughts?
I 100% believe I can and I will. Yes, I do.
Man, thank you so much. Yes, sir.
you.
That's the true you. And if you can just, no matter what happens today, just keep coming back and abiding in that, it really, really gets even better. It grows sweeter and sweeter. Next time you're in a rhythm of negativity, can you remind yourself back of that peace that's already inside? Can you bring yourself back into the rhythm of peace?
Yeah, definitely. 5 months pregnant.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely, congratulations. This is gorgeous. And so when you're feeling peaceful and you're feeling free, all those endorphins pass along to the baby, and it's gonna be one peaceful baby. That's gonna be all day. Can you hold on to that feeling of goodness? Can you hold on to that deliciousness, that feeling of cheeseburgers? I've been telling people all day it lives in you. All I'm doing is just showing you back to it. And so all day, if you could just abide, stay in that feeling of deliciousness, you see that it grows sweeter and sweeter and sweeter all day. You understand? Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Like 21 days.
Yeah, what was that?
One day you owe me like 20 bucks. For real.
And
He says one day you're gonna be like Tony Robbins, who opened up our show tonight. Who opened up our show tonight talking about the power of being pulled by the heart. That's curious. Looking like everything's a mirror. Looking like everything's a mirror. Twin, you're sweet. I appreciate that.
what I wanted to give you today is just a reminder of that peace that's already within. I understand that whether or not you say God is real, if God is real, then God lives here.
Yes.
There's a kingdom inside, and so we want to understand that this peace that passeth all understanding, it also abides just here.
do you feel that you can bring yourself back to this peace so that you can put yourself back in the peaceful rhythm? The very peace that you're feeling, can you bring yourself back to that? Anytime your thoughts start getting distracted, anytime they say, oh man, you didn't do enough today, or you're behind in life, can you bring yourself back to this peace and remember who you actually are?
It becomes easier because you have this going on.
Right.
So this kind of reminds you, you know what I'm saying, that you are a king, that God is real, you know what I'm saying, that you're walking the right path, that you're doing all these things. So
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
And I added one more thing in the song for you. Attention on your belly now.
Yeah.
Watch your air move in and out.
Yeah.
So anytime you need to create that space, you're coming back to your belly, coming back to that breath.
Yeah.
And what you find is that allows you to step away from the thoughts a bit.
Yeah.
And step back into that which is beyond thought.
Yeah.
Step back into that peace.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you. It's here.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you, Shawn, man. I just thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you, my friend.
I needed it today, and I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Much love to you.
All right, bless y'all.
And somehow, I discover a new way of being myself.
Okay, so here we are. We're talking about a new way of being myself. We're talking about what does it actually look like to live from the heart. We got to go to the breakthrough board. At this point, we've got to go to the breakthrough board. Now we're talking about the principle, the pattern, and the path forward. So you come over to the breakthrough board. And now we need to start talking about what's the principle of the evening. Because the question, of course, for the night was what does it actually look like? What does it actually look like to live from the heart? That is the question for the evening. That's the question. And now, from that question, we're looking to pull out a principle. I like to teach from principles because if I can understand the principle behind a thing, I can map my own steps. If I understand the principle of a thing, then I can find my own way. And as of late, I've been doing the principle, pattern, and path, but I do it directly on. I don't have it prepared before I come on. Which means that based off of what we've seen tonight, and based off of our primary question, which is what does it actually look like to live from the heart, there must be a principle. So here's the principle. When it comes to the question, what does it actually look like to live from the heart? As I've seen and watched tonight, I'm coming away with a single principle. And that principle is this: that living from the heart is literally the same thing as being yourself. That living from the heart is literally the same thing as being yourself. And before we go too much further, that would also mean that if you are choosing to spend life chasing after paying back a bank, chasing after bills, chasing activities that your parents got you into, chasing activities that the family said was important for you to do, chasing any activity that is led by the intellect, anything that is not the heart, then you are not being yourself. You're violating the principle. And so long as you violate the principles of reality, you will not be able to garner the blessings of reality because you're divorcing yourself from the truth of reality. This is exactly what Alex and myself and so many people need to hear, which is that living from the heart is not just some woo woo nonsense. The other way of saying it is being yourself, living as yourself, which also means that if you are not taking the time to live by this love frequency, not just sometimes, not just when it's time to do arts and crafts, then you can never be yourself, which makes you ask, what's the point of doing life if you've got to pretend to be somebody else? This was the big piece for me. And this is the big piece for me. Constantly living from the heart means being myself. And all of myself, I get to bring together the scholar, the writer, the researcher, the sales guy. I get to bring all of it to the filmmaker, the therapist, the inventor. I get to bring it all together. But I'm not bringing it together from an intellectual ego standpoint. I'm bringing it together so that as pure expression and allowing that expression to serve. That is the most compelling principle of this evening. That living from the heart, which is the other way of saying living from the truth, is being yourself, which also means that if you overlook the heart, you're overlooking the ground of existence and the very reason that you were born, which necessarily means you're overlooking yourself. So now that we know the principle, what's the pattern here? We know the principle, but what's the pattern here? Like the pattern, of course, is why do we even get into this kind of mess in the first place? Like, what's the pattern? Once I can understand the pattern, then I can recognize the pattern. Once I can recognize the pattern, I can interrupt the pattern. Once I can interrupt the pattern, I no longer have to suffer the pattern. So, what's the pattern? Okay. But here we go. Principle, which is that following the heart also means being yourself. The pattern, however, is this: that when we allow the intellect to lead, the intellect will direct us to the goal. But the problem is, and the pattern happens when we allow the goal to overtake the heart. The intellect will forge us a goal. It'll say, hey, look, based off of past conditions, based off of times when the money was low, based off of times when you felt the most unsafe, we need to accomplish this goal. Go get the cash. Go secure the relationship. Go get the status. Go get the power. Go get other people to look at you in a certain way. Yeah, we need to establish this goal. So the intellect gets to work architecting all of the various steps that it's going to take in order to reach this goal. And this very process of having this intellect architect these steps, it absorbs so much attention that the pursuit of the goal overtakes the heart. Now you're not even listening to what the heart is saying. Wouldn't even know. You're too busy being occupied. I remember being too busy being occupied by all the steps my intellect told me I needed to hit in order to hit my goal. Which is why after you hit the goal, after the pursuit of the goal fails, you're left with this emptiness. Because I was left with this emptiness because I didn't feel I wasn't living life from the heart. I was living life based off of not wanting to suffer, based off of goals I was attempting to pursue, based off the steps. So focused, my attention so focused and absorbed on the steps to reach my goal. The pursuit of my goal overtook my vision and perception of the heart. So I could no longer hear it speak to me, could no longer live from it. Only in creating space was there an opportunity. Only in creating space was there an opportunity. Okay, so we know the principle of the evening, which is that to live from the heart is to be yourself. But now we're recognizing the pattern, which is that the pursuit of our goals, defined and architected, where the steps are defined and architected by the intellect, the pursuit of those goals absorbs so much attention that we no longer have any left to give over to the heart, which means we can't hear what the heart is telling us to do, which means we can't go do it. And for those who are actually successful enough to achieve the goal, they get to experience even more pain because those people get to experience what life looks like when there is no goal and when there is no heart. When there is no goal to distract them and when there is no heart. And that's exactly what we saw with the entrepreneur at the top of the call, at the top of the hour. And it's exactly what happened to me. So now we have the principle, the pattern. We need the path forward. We need the path forward. We saw the principle that to answer the question for the evening, what does it actually look like? What does it actually look like to live from the heart? To answer that question, well, it looks like being yourself. That's the principle of the evening. The pattern, the place where we run in trouble is that the intellect absorbs so much attention that we can no longer pay attention to the heart. When we can no longer pay attention to the heart, we forget the heart. When we forget the heart, we suffer. But so what's the path forward? How do we get out of making that same mistake? The path forward is this. We must create space for listening. We must create space for what you might call heart-based listening. It's what I wish somebody would have told me. That you cannot hope to hear the voice of God if you ain't listening. You cannot hope to be yourself if you're not listening to yourself. You cannot hope to hear what the heart's talking about if you're not creating space, opportunity to become familiar with the voice of the heart, to listen to it. These are metaphorical language, it's metaphorical terms, but I just mean to tune in to that feeling that says, this, yes, is energetically aligned. This feels wonderful. This feels great. Something beyond pleasure. It's not just pleasurable. As we saw tonight, following the heart still comes with challenges. You can still find yourself out there and you can still find yourself unsure, but to continuously trust that feeling, it becomes so beautiful to watch how it perfectly arranges and orders the steps that you could not have created with your intellect alone. The chance encounters that end up being more, that end up being mirrors and reflections to yourself, that bring you deeper. Powerful. There can be no hope for following the heart if we're not taking the time to listen to the heart. If there was any benefit to retirement, it was just getting the space, just the ability to recognize and create the space for heart-based listening. It was just that ability, just that opportunity. And so it is the path that I offer for you tonight. It is the path that I offer for you tonight. You say, okay, well, how can we create that space? Well, much like what's happening in this video, in the episode of Countdown to Breakthrough we just watched, what I really like are things called higher reprogramming questions. We talk about higher reprogramming questions a lot in the book, Spiritual Responsibility, right? HRQs or HERCs. We talk about these higher reprogramming questions, just like the video covered. These are questions that reprogram, they're asked in such a way that they reprogram the mind for peace, for more powerful beliefs, and even for creating that peaceful state so that the heart can speak to you. So what I call those higher reprogramming questions. And I believe we have one for you tonight. I call them higher reprogramming questions, and I believe we have one of them for you tonight. A certain question that you're going to be able to ask yourself, a certain way of getting into the space where you can create space for heart-based listening. That question is going to be answered right inside of the video. I do believe that there is a recorded, that in this video where we're talking about what's it look like to live from the heart, in showing you what it looks like for me to live from the heart on the streets and then create and turn it into a film project, a series, a TV series. Inside of that very episode at the end is a question that's going to allow you to create space, heart-based space, to clear out these negative thoughts, these negative rhythms, as the episode is covering, and ask the higher reprogramming question. Ask the higher reprogramming question. We'll get to that in just a moment. As my godmother, so Twin saying, as my godmother would say, we live in here, lessons were to be learned today. I definitely appreciate today's Breakthrough Live. Excellent, excellent. Twin saying, second that. Felicity saying, absolutely, excellent, excellent, excellent. But you know what time it is, though? Y'all know what time it is? Because I know y'all hear that. You feel me? I know y'all. Oh, shoot. It's time for Breakthrough Turtle. Okay. Breakthrough Turtle every single week. What up, B? He's from New York. And every single week he brings us a blessing. Typically, it relates to what we've been covering tonight. And so, Breakthrough Turtle, we're running out of time tonight, but if you could just, you know what I'm saying, be as quick as possible, you know, I want to make sure that the folks get home safe. You dig what I'm saying? Let's see what we got. Mm, mm, yeah. Okay. Break. Mm, mm. Appreciate you, B. Mm. Okay, so he gives us one of these, and we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just, okay. It says, I am grateful to have been loved and to be loved now and to be able to love because love liberates. Huh. So, Breakthrough Turtle, are you saying that if we choose to live from the heart, that we're tapping into this innate power to, yes, have been loved by the God that has bestowed this love capacity to us, the God that still loves us now, but also that by following the heart, we also gain this radical capacity to be able to love, and that we're liberated when we do break the turtle. Is that what you're saying? I am grateful to have been loved and to be loved now and to be able to love, because love liberates. Maya Angelou. Mm. Break the turtle, man. B comes through with them. B be coming through with them. I appreciate you, B. Thank you so much. Everybody got the turtles in the chat. Everybody put their turtles in the chats. Uh, okay, Twist said, ALB, my guy D'Angelo said y'all dropping Master Splinter tonight. You dropping Master Splinter knowledge tonight? Oh my gosh. He said, oh no, I heard his motorcycle coming in. Yeah, you got a motorcycle coming in? All right, man. Break the turtle. He don't always, you know what I'm saying, say exactly what's going on, but you know, he do his thing. So folks, I want to start wrapping up this evening, but I want to wrap it up with a message directly from our episode. And as we get into this episode, as we get into this final piece, this is our time to actually ask this question. This is going to basically be our kit practice for the evening. And then we'll close it out. Let's get back to finish this episode. And in finishing, we'll arrive at the higher reprogramming question that allows you to create the space for heart-based listening, our very path forward. Let's get to that now.
What say you? There is a flowing rhythm to the universe if you're quiet enough to hear. When all seems lost and your world is falling apart, folding in on itself, and the stress is so high and the morale so low, I just want you to know that there's a sacred rhythm playing and a higher frequency beckons you, because the voice of God still speaks, vibrating the original sound of reality. You cannot have vibration without highs and lows, without ebbs and flows. And so when it's time for everything to be taken away from you, it's then that I want you to know that more is about to be given. I leave you with the rhythm you've been hearing all along. I leave you with this special kit to use anytime the song of your heart gets hushed by life. I call this kit the higher reprogramming question. You can render any thought or emotion harmless by stripping it of belief through the higher reprogramming question. Do this. Think back to a situation where you felt stressed. What was going on? Who was causing the problem? Where was it happening? And why did the situation disturb you? Paint this picture, recall it firmly back inside of your mind. Notice how real and true the story feels to you. Notice the anger, the resentment, the frustration, the anxiety, the fear that arises as you remember what happened. Now ask yourself this higher reprogramming question. How would it feel if the story that's producing this emotion in me wasn't true at all? What if I'm free when I decide? Allow yourself to feel the answer to those questions. What happens to the negative emotion once you retract the belief the negative emotion was depending on? Use your higher reprogramming questions first with small situations. Then as you mature, move on to larger and larger situations until you understand that those in charge of their own questions are in charge of their own minds. In big or small circumstances, you are stripping the situation of your belief and raising your vibrational frequency at once. This power of transformation is always within. Moving beyond the drum of time, vibrating now, counting down to your breakthrough.
Okay, folks, as we wrap tonight, we're thinking about those higher reprogramming questions. We're thinking about taking 15 minutes just to ask yourself those very questions, particularly when you find yourself thinking about all the things that you have to do, all the things that still need to get done, that you think still need to get done, asking yourself, what if the story I'm telling myself about this isn't true at all? And also, what if I'm free when I decide? And as you entertain those questions, you'll start to hear something speaking to you. It'll feel like lightness. It'll feel like joy. It'll feel like love. That's the heart speaking. And the more that you can encounter the heart, even as you deal with, even as you face your own mind, the easier it becomes to listen for the heart based instruction rather than some preconceived notion of what you think needs to happen but doesn't. And so tonight, I leave you with this, as I always do. The understanding that if fear is our only enemy, then we bring heaven to earth when we transform our minds. I'm Dr. Shawn, and we were not sent to impress our people. We were sent to transform our people into a light for the world. For God's universe opens to all who believe in breakthrough.